This is exclusive picture, part of the indictment filed by FBI in the Southern District Court of New York in the Sikh separatist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu assassination plot. However, Government of India has not come out yet with the probe finding. However, the Government of India clearly said that it is not the policy of Government of India. I will tell you in this story the Government of India's reactions once again, but FBI is yet to come out with clear terms as how come the main hitman or the contract killer and the second person, the confidential source, are known to its agencies FBI prior to this murder plot. This is very important, but in this picture one person is shown to hand over some dollars to the another person on the driver's seat. This picture clearly shows there are some dollars which are stated to be around $15,000 as per the indictment. So this is exclusive picture. Do stay tuned till end of the video without skipping, as I am going to tell you the full detail of the indictment, and I will also ask how come India's most wanted terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu is housed in the same building in Washington DC where the National Press Club is situated, where India's one of the prominent leader was invited, and that could have jeopardized his own security. And is it an international conspiracy to change regime in India? That question which I asked from the Ministry of External Affairs, I will also show you some clipping of that in this video. So without further ado, let's dive in the story. Hello and welcome. My name is Shailesh Kumar and you are watching National Defense. So here are the most exclusive story in the so-called assassination plot of Sikh separatist leader Gurpatwant Singh Pannu back in New York. I am reading the detailed version of the indictment filed by the FBI in the Southern District Court of New York. So as per the indictment, para 1 of the indictment reads, earlier this year an identified Indian government employee CC1 working together with others in India and elsewhere, including Nikhil Gupta, aka Nick, the defendant, which is named as Gupta, directed a plot to assassinate on US soil an attorney and political activist who is a US citizen of Indian origin residing in New York City. The victim is a vocal critic of the Indian government and leads a US-based organization that advocates for the secession of Punjab, a state in northern India that is home to a large population of Sikhs, an ethno-religious minority group in India. The victim has publicly called for some or all of Punjab to secede from India and established a Sikh sovereign state called Khalistan, and the Indian government has banned the victim and his separatist organization from India. US law enforcement detected and disrupted the plot to murder the victim. The para 2 of the indictment reads, CC1 had variously described himself employed by the Indian government as a senior field officer with responsibilities in security management and intelligence. CC1 also has referenced previously serving in India's Central Reserve Police Force and receiving official training in battlecraft and weapons. CC1 was employed at all times relevant to this indictment by the Indian government, resides in India and directed the assassination plot from India. The para 3 of the indictment reads, in or about May 2023, CC1 recruited Gupta to orchestrate the assassination of the victim in the United States. Gupta, an Indian national who also resides in India, is an associate of CC1 and has described his involvement in international narcotics and weapon trafficking in his communication with CC1 and others. The para 4 of the indictment reads, at CC1's direction, Gupta contacted an individual whom Gupta believed to be a criminal associate but who was in fact a confidential source working with US law enforcement, the CS, for assistance in contracting a hitman to murder the victim in New York City. The CS introduced Gupta to a purported hitman who was in fact an undercover US law enforcement officer, the UC. CC1 subsequently agreed in dealings brokered by Gupta to pay the UC $1 lakh to murder the victim. On or about June 9, 2023, CC1 and Gupta arranged for an associate to deliver $15,000 in cash to the UC in Manhattan, New York as an advance payment for the murder. The para 5 of the indictment reads, in or about June 2023, in furtherance of the assassination plot, CC1 provided Gupta with personal information about the victim, including the victim's home address in New York City, phone numbers associated with the victim, and details about the victim's day-to-day conduct, which Gupta then passed on to the USC. CC1 directed Gupta to provide regular updates on the progress of the assassination plot, which Gupta accomplished by forwarding to CC, among other things, surveillance photographs of the victim that the UC had sent to Gupta. Gupta directed the UC to carry out the murder as soon as possible, but Gupta also specifically instructed the UC not to commit the murder around the time of anticipated engagement scheduled to occur in ensuing weeks between high-level US and Indian government officials. The para 6 of the indictment reads, on or about June 18, 2023, masked gunmen murdered Hardeep Singh Nizza outside a Sikh temple in British Columbia, Canada. Nizza was an associate of the victim and, like the victim, was a leader of the Sikh separatist movement and an outspoken critic of the Indian government. Later that evening, just hours after the Nizza murder, CC1 sent Gupta a video clip that showed Nizza's bloody body slumped in the vehicle. About an hour later, CC1 sent Gupta the street address of the victim's residence in New York City. On or about June 19, 2023, the day after the Nizza murder, Gupta told the UC that Nizza was also the target, and we have so many targets. Gupta added that in light of Nizza's murder, there was now no need to wait on killing the victim. On or about June 2023, CC1 sent Gupta a news article about the victim and messaged Gupta, it's a priority now. The para 7 of the indictment reads, on or about June 30th, 2023, Gupta was arrested in the Czech Republic at the request of the United States in connection with his participation in the plot to murder the victim. CC1 recruits Gupta to arrange the victim's murder. The para 8 of the indictment reads, beginning in or about early May 2023, in a series of telephonic and electronic communication between CC1 and Gupta over encrypted application, CC1 asked Gupta to arrange the murder of the victim in exchange for CC1's assistance in securing the dismissal of a criminal case against Gupta in India. Gupta agreed to orchestrate the assassination. In addition to their electronic communications, Gupta also met CC1 in person in New Delhi in furtherance of the plot. Gupta and the UC communicated in English. Gupta and the CS communicated in English with occasional Spanish phrases. Gupta and CC1 largely communicated in English, and Gupta meantime left CC1 voice notes in Hindi. All communications are described in substance and in part and are based on draft transcriptions, and where necessary English translations. Grammatical and typographical errors appear as in the original communication unless otherwise indicated. Para 9 of the indictment reads, on about May 6, 2023, at the outset of the conversation over a particular encrypted internet application, CC1 wrote Gupta, this is CC1, save my name as CC1 alias. Gupta saved the telephonic number on Gupta's phone under an alias for CC1. A few minutes later, CC1 messaged Gupta that CC1 had a target in New York and another target in California. Gupta replied, we will hit all targets. The telephonic number used by CC1 has an India country code and is registered to an email account that, based on internet protocol data, accessed the internet during the period of the murder plot on numerous occasions from the vicinity of New Delhi, where CC1 working during the relevant time period for an Indian government agency as set forth above. The para 10 of the indictment reads, on or about May 12, 2023, CC1 notified Gupta that his criminal case has already been taken care of and that nobody from Gujarat police is calling. On or about May 23, 2023, CC1 again assured Gupta that CC1 had spoken with the boss about your Gujarat case, that it was all clear and nobody will ever bother you again. CC1 further offered to arrange a meeting between Gupta and a DCP, which is an acronym used in India for Deputy Commissioner of Police. The para 11th of the indictment reads, following CC1's assurances, Gupta pressed forward to arrange the murder. On or about May 29, 2023, Gupta asked the CS by phone if the CS knew anyone who could be willing to carry out a murder for hire in the United States. Gupta explained that the intended victim was a lawyer who split time between New York City and another US city, US City 1. The CS responded that he would reach out to his contacts. Para 12 of the indictment reads, over the ensuing weeks, Gupta engaged in a series of electronic and recorded communication with the CS and later the UC, including by phone, video and text messages, which they discussed, among other things, the logistics and price of the murder. For example, during a video call, Gupta reminded the CS that the victim worked as a lawyer and suggested that the CS's associates could contact the victim under the guise of obtaining legal advice in order to lure the victim to a place where he could be more easily executed. Gupta also directed the CS to a website where the CS could find New York and US city address for the victim's office. In or about May 29, 2023, Gupta messaged the CS the victim's name and other information about the victim and advised that the victim spend most of his time in New York. In response, the CS asked Gupta for additional information about the victim and details about the payment for the murder. Para 13 of the indictment reads, on or about May 29, 2023, Gupta sent screenshots of the CC1 of Gupta's text messages with CS in which the CS requested details about the victim and about payment for killing the victim. CC1 responded that we are ready to pay $1,50,000. The offer will go higher depending upon the quality of the work and if it is done as soon as possible, referring to the murder, the word, and executing the plot quickly. Gupta replied to CC1 with a screenshot of the CS requesting 1 lakh. CC1 responded okay and then added that while an advance payment was not possible, the whole money will be paid within 24 hours after the work is done. On or about June 1st, 2023, CC1 sent Gupta the street address for the victim's home in New York City, which CC1 described as Gupta as locality of the victim's house. The para 14 of the indictment reads, on or about June 2nd, 2023, CC1 messaged Gupta asking for any update on the murder plot, stating it's important and less time. Gupta responded that he expected to have an update the following day. The next day, on or about June 3rd, 2023, Gupta spoke with the CS by audio call and urged the CS to have his associate carry out the murder soon, stating, finish him brother, finishing. Don't take too much time. Push these guys, finish the job. Gupta directed the CS to a particular cell phone application that records global positioning system, GPS coordinates, and enable the user to take photographs. The GPS application, which CC1 had previously sent to Gupta on or about May 25th, 2023, and Gupta asked the CS to have the CS's associates in New York use the GPS application to transmit surveillance of the victim. Later that day, Gupta messaged CC1 that Gupta had spoken with the New York group and told them that have to discharge the victim as soon as possible. On or about June 4th, 2023, Gupta again spoke with the CS by audio call and promised the CS that if the job is done successfully, then Gupta would bring the chief to meet the CS. Gupta further noted that Gupta would be speaking with those directing the murder. CC1 and Gupta make an advance payment for the murder. The para 15 of the indictment says, as their plotting continued and CC1 and Gupta sought to orchestrate the assassination as soon as possible, CC1 and Gupta offered to make an upfront cash payment to the CS for the murder. As set forth below, CC1 and Gupta arranged the payment of $15,000 in cash to the UC in Manhattan as an advance payment for the murder of the victim. Now the para 16 of the indictment reads, on or about June 4, 2023, the CS sent Gupta a purported surveillance photograph of the victim taken using the GPS application. The surveillance photo, the CS represented to Gupta via text message that the surveillance photo was proof that the CS's New York associates were monitoring the victim and that the victim would be killed as soon as they received an advance payment of $25,000. On or about June 5, 2023, Gupta sent the surveillance photo and a screenshot of the CS's message to CC1. Gupta asked CC1 to check with his New York dealer if he can arrange the $25,000 payment there. The para 17 of the indictment reads, on or about June 6, 2023, Gupta messaged the CS asking to be put directly in touch with the CS's New York associates who could receive the advance payment and carry out the murder of the victim. In response, the CS introduced Gupta through electronic message to the UC who was purported to be the CS's associate in New York. First same day, Gupta sent screenshots to CC1 of Gupta's message with the CS discussing the advance payment and introducing the UC. CC1 replied, okay bhaiji. The para 18 of the indictment reads, on or about June 7th, 2023, Gupta messaged CC1 that Gupta's associate did not have the funds available in New York to make the advance payment and asked that CC1 check with his contact. Gupta added that he could pay in New Delhi also. The next day, on or about June 8, 2023, CC1 replied to Gupta with the name of an associate which is termed as individual 1, and a phone number for individual 1 with an Indian country code. The para 19th of the indictment reads, on or about June 9th, 2023, CC1 messaged Gupta, Bhaiji, I guess you are in communication with individual 1. He said payment will be made today positively. Let's activate the team and get it done this weekend, referring to executing the murder of the victim during the ensuing week. Gupta responded in the affirmative. Approximately 2 hours later, Gupta informed the UC by text message and voice note that another associate, which is individual 2, would call Gupta to arrange the delivery by noon that day of the parcel, meaning the advance cash payment for the murder. The advance payment. A few minutes later, individual 2 called the UC and stated that individual 2 had $15,000 for the UC. The para 20th of the indictment reads, later on or about June 9th, 2023, individual 2 met with the UC in Manhattan to make the advance payment. During the meeting, which took place in the UC's vehicle, the UC called Gupta and facilitated a video call between Gupta and individual 2, during which individual 2 discussed, among other things, Gupta's location in India. Individual 2 then handed $15,000 in cash to the UC. A still image of the advance payment is shown below as per the indictment. The para 21 of the indictment reads, on or about June 10th, 2023, Gupta sent to CC1 screenshots of Gupta's text messages with the CS and the UC, in which both confirmed that the advance payment had been made. CC1 responded, okay Bhaiji. CC1 and Gupta instructed that the murder should not occur during anticipated high-level diplomatic engagements between India and the United States. The para 22 of the indictment reads, as they plotted the murder of the victim, Gupta specifically and repeatedly instructed the CS not to carry out the assassination during anticipated engagements between high-level government officials from the United States and India. For example, on or about June 6, 2023, on an audio call, Gupta instructed the CS that we need to calm down everything 10 days because of such engagements scheduled to occur over the ensuing weeks. Gupta explained that given the victim's public profile as an activist, there could be protests in the wake of his death, which could lead to political things, referring to geopolitical fallout if the victim were assassinated on US soil during those planned meetings. Gupta added that after the planned engagements, there would be more jobs, referring to more targeted killings like that other victims to be carried out in the future. Para 23 of the indictment reads, consistent with the instructions that Gupta relayed to the CS, CC1 instructed Gupta not to carry out the assassination of the victim in the immediate head up to or during the planned engagements between high-level US and Indian government officials. For example, on or about June 11, 2023, after receiving from Gupta additional purported surveillance photographs of the victim, CC1 messaged Gupta, it looks promising, but we have today only. If it does not happen today, it will be done after 24th, that is, after the engagements. Gupta informs the CS and the UC that his India-based co-conspirators directing the murder plot were targeting other victims, including in Canada. Para 24th of the indictment says, during Gupta's communications with the CS and the UC, Gupta repeatedly emphasized that his co-conspirators directing the assassination plot from India had extensive resources and were closely monitoring the progress of the plotting. For example, on or about June 12, 2023, the UC receiving a video call from Gupta, who appeared to be in a conference room. During the call, Gupta turned the camera towards approximately 3 other men in the room who were dressed in business attire, sitting around a conference table with Gupta. As Gupta turned the camera back towards himself, he told the UC, we are all counting on you. Approximately 2 days later, on or about June 14, 2023, Gupta messaged the UC that Gupta had a message from friends for your brother. Gupta then forwarded a message that Gupta had received from CC1 stating, follow the victim till the time he enters his house or any other final place. The para 25th of the indictment reads, Gupta also informed the CS and the UC that after the murder of the victim, Gupta's confederates would provide the CS and UC with additional victims to kill. For example, on or about June 9, 2023, Gupta told the CS during a call that the murder of the victim would change the UC's life because we will give more bigger jobs, more jobs every month 2 to 3 jobs. The para 26 of the indictment reads, on or about June 12, 2023, on a call with the CS, Gupta stated that there was a big target in Canada. A few days later, on or about June 14, 2023, Gupta messaged the CS that we will be needing one good team in Canada also tomorrow. I will share you the details. The following day, on or about June 15, 2023, Gupta advised the CS by phone that Gupta was still waiting for the details about the Canadian target. On or about June 16, 2023, on another call with the CS, Gupta told the CS that we are doing their job, referring to the individuals directing the targeting plots from India. Nizar is murdered in Canada and CC1 and Gupta accelerated the plan to kill the victim in New York City. The para 27 of the indictment reads, on or about June 18, 2023, masked gunmen shot and killed Nizar, an associate of the victim and another leader of the Sikh separatist movement, outside a Sikh temple in Canada. Later that evening, CC1 sent Gupta a video clip showing Nizar's bloody body slumped in his vehicle. Gupta replied that he wished he had personally conducted the killing and asked CC1 for permission to go to the field. CC1 responded that secrecy is important and it is better you do not get involved in action. Approximately 1 hour later, CC1 sent Gupta the street address of the victim's residence in New York. Para 28 of the indictment reads, Gupta forwarded the video clip showing Nizar's bloody body to the CS and the UC minutes after receiving it from the CC1. Soon after, on or about June 19, 2023, Gupta spoke with the UC by audio call and Gupta told the UC that Nizar was also the target, but that Nizar was number 4, number 3 on the list and not to worry because we have so many targets. But the good news is this, now no need to wait separately. Gupta also held an audio call with the CS during which Gupta confirmed that Nizar was the target that Gupta had previously mentioned as the potential Canadian job, stating, this is the guy, I send you the video. We did not give to the UC this job, so some other guy did this job in Canada. In a change from his prior instructions to delay killing the victim until after the scheduled engagement between high-level US and Indian government officials, Gupta told the CS that the UC should kill the victim as soon as possible, informing the CS that we got the go-ahead to go anytime, even today, tomorrow, as early as possible. The UC had to finish this job, brother. Gupta also told the CS to expect the victim to be more careful in the wake of the Nizar murder. He will be more cautious because in Canada, his colleague is down. I sent you the video. So he will be more cautious. So we should not give them any chance. Gupta added, if he is not alone, if there are 2 guys with him in the meeting or something, put everyone down. Para 29 of the indictment reads, the following day, on or about June 20th, 2023, CC1 sent Gupta a news article about the victim. CC1 then messaged, it's priority now. Shortly thereafter, Gupta spoke to the CS by audio call and Gupta directed the CS to find the opportunity to kill the victim and to do it quickly. Gupta stated that before the 29th of June, we have to finish 4 jobs. That is the victim and after that 3 in Canada. CC1 and Gupta continued working to orchestrate the victim's murder. The para 30th of the indictment reads, after the Nizar murder in Canada, Gupta demanded rapid updates from the UC on the progress of the plot to murder the victim, which Gupta then reported to CC1. Gupta simultaneously relayed intelligence of the victim's whereabouts from the CC1 to the UC. At one point, on or about June 22nd, 2023, CC1 messaged Gupta that the victim is somewhere else, that is not at home, and that CC1 got the message from boss. Gupta immediately attempted to call the UC. When the call went unanswered, Gupta messaged the UC that the victim is not at home according to our sources, but make sure his presence before entering inside. A few minutes later, CC1 messaged Gupta instructing, let them also verify by their own. If they are able to get some proof that he is inside, it will be a go-ahead from us, a reference to giving the green light to assassinate the victim as soon as it could be verified that he was at his residence. Para 31 of the indictment reads, on or about June 24, 2023, CC1 messaged Gupta that today we must get the app-based location, referring to obtaining surveillance of the victim using the GPS application. CC1 explained that now it is clear, go ahead, we will also be able to help your team if they are sending location. Consistent with CC1's instruction, Gupta messaged the UC and directed the UC to transmit pictures only through the application. On or about June 25, 2023, the CC sent Gupta a series of photographs of the vicinity of the victim's residence and neighborhood, which bore GPS coordinates stamps from the GPS application. Gupta in turn sent portions of the photographs to CC1. The next day, on or about June 26, 2023, CC1 replied to Gupta, "Excellent, they are proving that they are quite serious now." CC1 updated that the coming 24 hours will be crucial, that the victim will definitely come to either home or office, and that Gupta should tell the UC to be ready for both the locations. Gupta relayed CC1's instruction, directing the UC to keep eyes at his house, his office, and the cafe he used to visit. The para 32 of the indictment reads, also on or about June 26, 2023, the UC sent Gupta another series of photographs of the victim's neighborhood taken using the GPS application. Gupta transmitted portions of the photographs to CC1, who then provided Gupta with a total of 4 office personal telephone numbers of the victim. On or about June 29, 2023, Gupta messaged the UC that we have the intel that the victim has arrived back to his home and today he should come out definitely. Gupta instructed the UC to carry out the murder, stating, "Try to get this done if you have the visuals and if you are sure." On or about June 30, 2023, Gupta travelled from India to Czech Republic. Upon his arrival in the Czech Republic, Gupta was arrested by Czech law enforcement authorities at the request of the United States in connection with his participation in the plot to assassinate the victim. So this is the indictment verbatim which I just read out to you, but it raises more questions than the answers. However, they try to make this whole indictment as a screenplay of a suspense thriller, but there are more questions than the answers. The bigger question is, how come the main hitman or the contract killer and the hiring man who is a confidential source, both of these persons are known to the US law enforcement agencies, have previous links? That raises a lot of questions. So if this is an entrapment, perhaps there are more questions that possibly Nikhil Gupta could also be part of that entrapment, and one has to be very sure that this could be an international conspiracy because not everyone is so happy with India's soft power and the relationship with India and US currently share, the friendship, the growing proximity and intimacy between the two nations, including at the top level of the leadership. So not all are happy, especially India's adversaries. So is this maybe could be handiwork of external agency? And the big question is, if it is an international conspiracy, then one has to look, how come India's most wanted terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu is housed at the same building in Washington DC where the National Press Club's office is located, in the same locality? How come one Indian prominent leader was invited to that press club, National Press Club, in early June this year? Does it not compromise his security, because he is always on target of such extremist elements like Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, and his family has already sacrificed many lives? So was it an international conspiracy to change the regime in India, or to affect or a kind of foreign interference in India's political system? This has to be investigated because India is a vibrant democracy, and altering this situation or altering this balance could benefit India's adversaries. So perhaps this has to be answered not only by the US agencies but also the Indian government, which has launched a probe in this particular aspect. This indictment is completely not transparent, black and white. There are flaws in it, and however the law will take its own course, whether it is India or whether it is US. US is also a very vibrant democracy with the rule of law, and the law of the land prevails, and so as the law of the land prevails here, the government of India is very serious about this particular case and very concerned, and it is not the policy of government of India to execute such assassinations plot. So the government of India has already clearly said, and they have launched a probe in this, So let's wait for the probe. Let's wait for the government of India's reaction. However, whatever the reaction was when I asked, let's listen in that also, and then I conclude. At least two of the accused in US indictment alleging Indian involvement are sources or have previous links with US agencies, while we see India's most wanted terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu is harbored at the same building area 529 14th Street, NW, Washington, where National Press Club is located. This is the same building. Some time back, we see a prominent Indian leader was invited there at the same building in the light of serious allegation of assassination.
I think we'll have to keep the question tight. Sorry.
And now a flawed indictment of...
Your question was specific to, do you see an international conspiracy? I got your question.
Yes.
Somebody... No, this is not opening up the floor. I think there's similar questions. Yeah, what do you have? Microphone.
सर मैं मनीष झा हूँ TV9 से. चूँकि US की तरफ से ये बताया गया कि जो एक इंडियन सिटीजन है निखिल गुप्ता उसको अरेस्ट कर लिया गया है, तो और इसी केस में एक इंडियन ऑफिसर का भी नाम है, तो क्या US गवर्नमेंट ने इंडियन गवर्नमेंट से इस मामले में कांटेक्ट किया है इंडियन ऑफिसर को लेकर स्पेसिफिक?
Okay. Look, as you would have seen, as we have informed earlier, during the course of discussions with the US on bilateral security cooperation, the US side shared some inputs pertaining to nexus between organized criminals, gun runners, terrorists, other extremists. We take, of course, such inputs very seriously, and a high-level inquiry committee has been constituted to look into all the relevant aspects of the matter, and necessary follow-up action will be taken based on the findings of the inquiry committee. You would have seen this in our statements that we have issued. We cannot share any further information on such security matters. As regards the case against an individual that has been filed in a US court, allegedly linking him to an Indian official, this is a matter of concern. We have said, and let me reiterate, that this is also contrary to government policy. The nexus between organized crime, trafficking, gun running, and extremists at an international level is a serious issue for law enforcement agencies and organizations to consider. And it is precisely for that reason that a high-level inquiry committee has been constituted, and we will obviously be guided by its results. I've seen a series of questions that you've asked on this issue. I don't think there's anything additional that I would like to say on that.
Hope you like this story. If you have your feedback, please do write in the comment box. Thanks for watching National Defense. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.